Hello, and welcome to Cooking with a Wooden Spoon. We are getting to my very favorite season, soup season. Some people might call it fall, but I call it soup season. If you know me, you know I love soups. If you know me and you've been sick, you've probably gotten one of my soups. I love pretty much all kinds of soups. So today we are going to make one of my family's favorite soups and certainly one of the most comforting soups. It is potato soup. I like to make my potato soup wonderful and rich and creamy and delicious. Today we are going to make it wonderful, less creamy, but equally delicious. We are aiming to eat healthier. So today for our potato soup, we are going to swap out our usual cream and we are going to make it with 2% milk. And I promise you, you're still going to love it. I know I love it. Today we will start with our mirepoix. You've probably heard me say mirepoix before. Not only is it delicious, it's French. So what a mirepoix is, it is a combination of celery, carrots, and onion. And it's a base for a lot of sauces and a lot of soups. So today we are going to be using my trusty Lodge cast iron Dutch oven. You can use any bowl, any soup bowl, soup pan. What's the word I'm looking for here? This is what happens when you get older. Words that you use all the time, you just can't find them anymore. Soup pot. There it is. I found it. Soup pot. You can use any soup pot you want, or you can use a cast iron pot, and that's good too. One wonderful thing about soup is it's very forgiving. So there's not a whole lot you can do to mess it up. But potato soup is super easy and super yummy. So we are going to, as I said, start with our mirepoix, and then we are going to add a little bit of flour and then our broth. And let's go ahead and get started. As always, I'm starting with a pan that is already hot. So I'm going to add my carrots, my onions, and my celery. I'm going to wait for a minute for my celery. My celery is actually from my garden. It's one of my favorite things to plant. It has a lot of the leaves on it, so I don't want the leaves to char. So I'm going to hold off on that for just a second. I always put my dry spices in at the beginning, and my fresh herbs go in at the end. The dry spices need the moisture to release their flavor, but the fresh spices are pretty flavorful as is. So I'm going to start cooking this down. So the onions, as you can see, they're translucent. And you can also see Bo, highly interested in what I'm doing. Hi, Bo. Do you like soup? I think Bo also loves soup season because it's a little less hot when he goes for his walks in the morning. So, I love pumpkin spice. I love the cooler temperatures. I love mums. I think that mums, the flowers, I love other mums too. But I think that mums are just beautiful. This year, I bought some mums from our friends Molly and Tom. And for the first time, I'm trying to get them in the ground. It was actually my friend Mariella's idea. I stole it from her. So she said if you buy your mums and get them in the ground this time of the year, that they will stay healthy and they'll root before there's time for a frost. So that's pretty awesome. I think we're going to go ahead and put this in here. One thing that I really like about my garden fresh celery is it takes a lot less celery to get the celery flavor, because the garden celery is just so rich and flavorful that you don't need as much, which is awesome. So, speaking of my garden, I had a surprise today in my cottage garden. I had planted a bunch of 50% off bulbs at the beginning of the season in June, and I really couldn't even remember what all I bought, to be honest. And yesterday I noticed one of the bulbs that I plant has grown, and it is a gladiola, and it's probably going to bloom while we're in Kansas, but it's okay. It will be a nice surprise to come home to. So I may put the gladiola in this video if I remember, but boy, was it beautiful. The shade of red is going to be awesome. You can see our soup is looking really good. I'd say it's pretty close to being ready. What I like to do is when it's close like this, I like to just turn off the burner and put the lid on and then let it sit for about 10 minutes so that it steams, and that way the carrots get nice and moist and pretty cool. So we're going to turn this off and let it sit for 10 minutes. We'll join you back. We have our mirepoix for our potato soup looking really great. So what we will do now is we will add some flour. I like to add the flour a little bit at a time for it to incorporate pretty well. So I'll cook the flour in here until the flour is nice and bubbly. It's starting to bubble a little bit. We're going to let that bubble a little bit more. So I think I'm doing closer to a third of a cup. I measured out half a cup, but I did a third of a cup. So we'll let this sit for a second. So I think one of the hardest things about potato soup, okay, let's be honest. The only hard thing about potato soup is being patient enough to wait for the potatoes to cook. So we'll see how we do with that today. Hopefully we'll do pretty well. So we're going to let this cook and bubble, and then we're going to take chicken broth. Usually I make my own chicken broth, but I haven't made a whole chicken for a little while, so I don't have chicken broth that's homemade, so I'm just using store-bought chicken broth, and it'll be good. It'll taste great. Okay, we're going to add this a little bit at a time. I do about 4 cups for a regular batch of potato soup. So as it starts to thicken, then I know that it's time to add more. I have said in a few different videos when I've made sauces that you can feel resistance when you know that it's time to add more liquid, and this is no different. I can definitely smell the celery that's fresh from the garden. It really tastes different. It's so, I don't know, vivacious in flavor. Trying to be a neat cook, but I'll be honest, I'm not the neatest cook. I foresee an apron coming on here pretty soon. So we're just gonna stir this and let it thicken. We're pretty well incorporated. Our next step is going to be adding potatoes and bacon. I like to add the bacon now. You could add it later, but I like to add it now because I feel like the bacon flavor is in the potatoes if you add it now when the potatoes start to cook. And who doesn't love the flavor of bacon? So I'm only going to put a little over half of these potatoes in because I'm going to use the other half for a different soup. So we are going to cook these potatoes. Let's see, it's just about noon right now, so we'll see how long it takes. Generally, I think it takes at least 15 minutes to cook potatoes to get to where you want them to be. So we're going to go ahead and cook these potatoes, and then when they're done, we'll meet back up. Our potatoes have been cooking for 33 minutes, and I think they're just about right. They smell amazing. So our next step is going to be adding some corn and some milk, and we are going to let those warm up and then add our cheese. I'm just adding frozen corn, but you can definitely add fresh corn if you have it, if you like it. So this is a 12-ounce bag. I really like corn in the potato soup, so I'm adding the whole bag. And then we're going to add some milk. Like I said earlier, I'm just using 2% milk, and I'm using milk from our farm store in the next town over. So I'm going to say about 2 cups of milk. So bad about measuring whenever I cook. I've gotten a little bit better for you, but I'm still not where I should be or could be. I think my cooking is similar to how Seth can play music by ear. I wish that I had that ability, but having the notes is just fine, and having the recipe is just fine as well. So whatever is your wheelhouse, whatever is your comfort zone, then that's what you should do. We've got 2 soups going for a different video as well. So we're just letting those potatoes cook. Oftentimes when I make one thing, I make several things. Especially if I'm using a lot of the same ingredients. So I'm making a ham and bean soup and a potato soup as well. And at least for the beginning, most of the ingredients are similar, if not exactly the same. So we're starting to warm up our soup. You can tell if I stop stirring, you can see the steam coming up from the soup. Once you get to that point, then you know you can put in your last couple of ingredients. We are almost done with this potato soup. It is really delicious. And if you stay tuned, you'll get to come and have dinner with us out on the back deck as usual. We eat 2 meals a day on the back deck. We eat breakfast inside, and then lunch and dinner we like to eat on the deck, unless it's raining. So we'll be enjoying this soup on the deck later, especially this time of the year when the garden is just going crazy. I love eating dinner and looking at the cottage garden and the vegetable garden too. So we're putting some parsley from our yard in. Matt isn't the biggest fan of big chunks of herbs, but we'll see if he says anything or not. I really like when the herbs are really big, but we'll see what he says. So I have Hook's cheddar cheese right now, and I'm going to add that. I'd say about a cup. If I were not using Hook's cheddar cheese, I would probably do more than a cup of cheese, honestly, just because the Hook's cheddar cheese is so flavorful that you don't need as much cheese to get the cheese flavor. So all I'm going to do is stir this and let the cheese melt, and then we will do a taste test. And I'm so excited. I haven't made this soup in a long time. Typically, whenever it's warm outside, I don't crave soup as much. I still crave soup because I love soup, but since it's been pretty warm, just making sure all my YouTubies are still awake because it's been warm. I haven't had as much soup, but we're heading into soup season, so you'll get to enjoy a lot of soups with me. I'd say the soup that I am most excited to make with you is my mom's chicken noodle soup, which I make a lot. I actually make that and freeze it for the kids so that if they end up getting sick, since I'm not near any of them anymore, then they can just pull out their mom's chicken noodle soup and enjoy it. I think it's healing. So we're going to go ahead and let this cheese melt, and then we'll come back and give it a try. We're going to give this a try. And I do hope you join us for dinner on the back porch today. It's a lovely day. That was really good. I would say the potatoes could have used 2 or 3 more minutes to cook, but other than that, it is really good. It tastes just as good with 2% milk as it does with cream, in my opinion. When you use 2% milk, you don't have the guilt there as well. But anyway, I think it's pretty good. We'll see what Matt thinks at dinner time, which is a little ways away. So we're going to put most of this in the refrigerator, all of it in the refrigerator now. And we'll warm up our potato soup when it's time for dinner. One thing that I've noticed, especially with cream-based soups, but really with all soups, they taste better the second day. Chili is like that. Soups are like that. Cream sauces just gives the flavors a chance to meld together. So this will be good today, but we're actually heading to Seth's in Kansas City tomorrow, and I'm pretty excited about it. I haven't seen him in a long, long time. So we are going to have this to enjoy whenever we get back from Kansas City, which was my whole reason for making these two soups, because I wanted to come home to good food. So you'll have that to enjoy. I'll have that to enjoy. You'll have this to enjoy if you decide to make it, which I hope you do.
You can't get through to this little spot. He has to eat grass over there because we got the bag out.
Oh no. Well, we're going to try our potato soup, but Bo's having a little bit of a hard time right now. First of all, we moved the furniture around for video purposes. He did not approve. Second, we're leaving for Kansas City tomorrow, and Matt got the suitcase out.
I did. He's not a big fan of that.
No. So, he's eating grass currently, not Matt. Well, when Matt sees the parsley in here, he may say he's eating grass, but Bo is eating grass currently.
He is.
So,
poor guy.
Yep. Well, you ready to try this potato soup?
I am.
Okay. You go first.
Very good.
Yeah.
You've done it again.
If I were to give it a critique, I probably would have added a little bit more of the Hook's cheddar cheese. I went light because it's pretty flavorful. And I would have cooked the potatoes a little longer. Other than that, I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Good job.
Always my own worst critic.
This is on my list of favorite soups.
Is it on your list of favorite soups? What is your absolute favorite soup?
I didn't know there was going to be a quiz. Probably potato soup.
Yeah?
Chicken noodles good too.
Yeah, I like that.
And the chicken dumpling soup you make.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But the potato soup's probably on my list of, that's probably my favorite.
Cool. Well, that's good. Glad we're having a success then. Bo's not having a success.
He's not.
He's right beyond
I won't have to run the
eating.
weed eater.
That's true.
Maybe that's what he's trying to do, save the weed eater time.
At least he does better with the lawnmower now.
Mm-hmm.
We have a robot lawnmower, and for a while Bo was less than pleased with it, but I think they're coming to terms with each other.
I think they are.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a beautiful night.
It is. I love the cool temperatures.
Yeah, perfect for soup since it's a little bit cooler.
I don't think it's a little chilly. I think it's perfect.
I think it's a little chilly. But soup is good. Company is good. Bo's not good. But that's okay. I hope you try this recipe. It really is pretty easy to make. You saw it came together pretty quick. And it's delicious.
It's very good.